Welcome to Sailing Avanti. We are Gerard and Jacqs sailing our 41-foot monohull Avanti around the world from Cape Town, South Africa. We arrive in the Caribbean and moor in Clifton Harbour, Union Island. The clearing in process was relatively straightforward with no COVID test required since we spent more than 3 days at sea. But before we can start exploring the island, we need to sort out the burnt cables.
So this is our culprit for the start of an electrical fire that we had on the 220 volt AC. As you can see, it's a very badly corroded connection, and this wire was inside of this closed conduit. So I've opened it up. I was not aware even that there was a joint. So yeah, it was a close call, so we just need to cut back these wires and fix up this joint.
By the end of the day, the wires had been fixed and it was time to make land for a sunset rum punch. We want to thank everyone for their comments and ideas for naming our dinghy. We thought some of them were really funny and have decided on blaashoppie, the Afrikaans name for pufferfish. That could also mean to inflate something. Thank you to Jack and Michelle, who both suggested this name.
As morning breaks, we head down to the beach for a day of kitesurfing. I had to wait for a very windy day, seeing that my kites are sized for the strong winds of Cape Town. I pump up my 9 square meter kite but find a few unexpected leaks in the bladder where the struts connect to the main bladder. I end up renting a kite from the kite school, which has way newer models than my old kitesurfing gear. I end up spending half a day on the water, which is extremely nice. Strong winds, flat water in between the reefs, and only a stone's throw from the yacht moorings.
With Gerard working up an appetite, it's time for a hearty meal at one of the local canteens. From water to land, the next morning we put on our hiking shoes and head up to one of the hills to see the island from above. We're right close to the fort hill and we're not there yet, but you can see the whole bay and we can even see Avanti there between the monohulls and some of the catamarans. Right close to the boat you can actually see a little island with a building on it, and that's called Happy House or something like that bar. We are on a beautiful hill today, the Fort Hill, and in the West Indies, roties are one of the delicacies you can get in almost any restaurant. So today we decided to make our own and to come have it up here with the beautiful Tobago Keys that we're going to next in the background. town itself was quite small, with this fruit market square opening in the later of the afternoons, but it's still very colourful and pretty to walk through.
We leave Clifton Harbour after a few days and head to Chatham Bay. Chatham Bay is just around the corner, only a few nautical miles away, and is a much calmer and quieter anchorage with some beach bars and hopefully a turtle or two swimming underneath the boat.
If only our sail from Suriname was like this. We're doing 5.5, 6 knots boat speed, almost no swell, full Genoa out, and we're just cruising along very peacefully. This is cruising.
As soon as we drop anchor, we always dive down to make sure that it's set well in the sand.
As you can see, the anchor is completely dug into the sand and not lying on its back, so it's all good to go.
As I'm down here, something to the left catches my eye and I swim over to see some massive starfish lying right next to our anchor. I'm really grateful we didn't hit them.
This morning we woke up in Chatham Bay. It's just on the other side of Clifton Harbour on Union Island, and there's some big super yachts that pulled in. One of them's got like a water blow up jungle gym and even like a floating bridge towards the jungle gym. So absolutely crazy what these guys have got on board.
We go for a short hike to get a view from Chatham Bay from above.
Snorkeling in Chatham wasn't great. Although there's an abundance of small fish swimming the reefs, there's a lot of this green sludge that makes the visibility quite bad. We were still lucky enough to see this beautiful ray, but the turtles were too smart for our cameras.
the beer we're sampling today is what they call a Hyroon. It's a beer locally brewed in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's brewed on the larger island, St. Vincent, which is the largest island of the group of islands, and distributed to all the smaller islands. It's a very small size. It's only a 250 milliliter bottle. We didn't see any bigger sizes, so not a great size. It's probably because it's so hot it heats up quite quickly. And in terms of the cost of the beer, it's anything between 6 and 10 Eastern Caribbean dollars, which is about 36 to 60 rand, depending on how small the island is that you're on. And in terms of the taste of the beer, it's not the greatest lager I've ever had. So very bland compared to my favorite ones. So if I had to rate this in terms of value for money, the size of the bottle and the taste, probably a 3 out of 10. We want to say a big thank you to our first 2 Patreons, Adam Healy and Nicole Naidu. They've subscribed to Patreon to give us a small contribution on a monthly basis. You can find our Patreon link in the description below the YouTube videos. Patreon is a platform where you can make a small contribution towards these videos and our journey. You can select different tiers of contributions and it will deduct from your credit card on a monthly basis. You can easily cancel the contributions at any time. So yeah, that will just help us to improve these videos, or buy us a beer when we sit in restaurants to upload these videos on Wi-Fi. So yeah, but thank you everybody for supporting and watching so far.
And if you can't subscribe, if you can't support through Patreon, liking and leaving comments on videos like these really helps with algorithms for YouTube so that we can get more viewers.
Join us in the next episode as we head to Tobago Cays National Park, which is the gem of the Caribbean Sea. There's an abundance of sea life and we end up snorkeling for hours with turtles.